I want you guys to listen, and I want you to listen clearly, okay? They are manipulating the value of the rand. Do you understand now?
So the President Ramaphosa wants to clean up Joburg for G20, right? Okay, cool. That's nice.
The South African government clearly prioritizes foreign visitors, clearly prioritizes people from other parts of the world instead of its own citizens. When ordinary citizens complain about the dirt in the Johannesburg CBD, when they complain about so many other things, government doesn't seem to do anything.
South Africa, they have invested in your countries. It's high time you start taking them out of your countries because they are harassing your people in this country.
Yoko Ningi. Hello and welcome to the channel. Let's get into it. There is a lot happening in South Africa. The G20 is coming up in November, and the clean up in the streets of Johannesburg and Tshwane is major. Now the fight is who's taking the credit, and why did it have to take the G20 for them to do their job for taxpayers? Another issue, as you have seen, that the previous week we were as a nation being reminded of our notes in high school about frontline states. Now we have to read again because the next burning issue requires us to know economic terms. This is the rand fixing issues, where it is 7 rand versus 17 rand to the dollar. That is the issue at play here, as it is being challenged at the Apex Court. Now this comes in with the G20, as we are seeing the clever blacks, even the 2Ks, they are standing up and they are planning a protest just before the G20 so that leaders can take the appropriate action to prevent this level of white collar crime that is seemingly being swept under the carpet, just like how maintenance and all the things that Operation Dudula was bringing forward, such as bylaws being applied, such as preventing lawlessness. They are now being attended to because of the G20. Let's take a look at these cleanup efforts and how this rand fixing issue can be resolved. Ukhanyago put his head on the chopping block, just like Mkhwanazi. So Ukhanyago is basically the Mkhwanazi of the economic side of things. Let's take a look at the sentiments around this big clean up. Please give this video a thumbs up. South Africa is moving in the right direction. Take a look.
Streetlights that haven't worked in years are glowing, potholes patched, grass trimmed and roads repainted, all thanks to the upcoming G20 summit. As the city scrambles to impress world leaders, the Johannesburg Roads Agency is fixing what's been broken for years, but only along the G20 motorcade routes. Areas around Nasrec, Sandton and the airport corridors are getting VIP treatment while the rest of the city watches from the sidelines. This isn't about capability, it's about priority. If the government can transform Johannesburg overnight for global visitors, then why can't they do the same for the people who live here every day? We've seen this movie before. Remember the 2010 World Cup? New roads, new stadiums, new promises, but once the cameras left, so did the effort. As South Africans, we're not asking for luxury, we're asking for consistency. If they can fix it for the G20, they can fix it for us.
This street above is right at the heart of Johannesburg. Since I knew how to navigate the city of Johannesburg by myself, I have never seen this screen up here this clean. And now that there is G20 summit happening in Johannesburg, all of a sudden Johannesburg is squeaky clean. This is a good example that our leaders lack the political will to keep this country functional. This is a pure example to show that it is intentional, that Johannesburg is the way it is, and there are people that are benefiting out of the chaos. Just look at this. Beautiful, desirable. Johannesburg can be a world-class city that they claim it to be. We need to deal with illegal trading, not informal, but illegal trading. We need to deal with illegal occupation of buildings. People need to be vetted properly before they occupy any building within the city of Johannesburg. This city can be great, this country can be great. We just lack the political will to keep it that way. And instead, they go in parliament and argue about foreign nationals on who is supposed to be here and who is not supposed to be here. We welcome everyone as long as they are here legally. Then we are fine with that. And as long as they are not hijacking buildings and then they are paying rent like everyone does, we are okay with that.
The JMPD is here cleaning the streets. The hawkers, who are all foreign nationals, were given a warning. They were told to remove their stock. They are not supposed to sell on our pavements.
The city renovated this space not for traders, but for cleanliness.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Tell them, Baba. Tell them, Baba, please.
They've got this victim mentality.
Yeah. That's why we're telling them to go and fix their countries, these people. They must go fix their countries.
Carlton sense. If I want to show, if you want to make it clean, we can make it clean, wait. Honestly speaking. There's still a lot to do, and even you guys from outside, please man, clean up after yourselves.
Do you still not understand? Okay, hold up.
Hey Baba, a whole governor came out and was like, hey Baba, Randa is supposed to be 7 to the dollar. What do you mean? A whole governor making a public statement like that. Sometimes it really does feel like only a handful of us are panicking. Only a handful of us are panicking. Right? We are in a post-apartheid system. And it's a post-apartheid system. And before you come at me, no, this is not political, this is history. Listen up. It's economics. Don't do that. Let's bring it back to the fact that the rand was manipulated, right? Let's bring it back to the manipulation. If you can manipulate a currency, you can manipulate an economy. If you can manipulate an economy, what else do you think you can control? It gets harder and harder to have hope every.
So you guys want to tell me that $1 should have been 7 rands? Do you know what that means? That means that this car should have been 355k, not 875. And this one should have been half the price. That's insane, brother. Not to mention cost of living, bro. Cost of living should have been cheaper. All of a sudden, after apartheid, rand started becoming weaker and weaker. So I guess after all, that was the price to pay for your freedom.
Yo, there you have it. Those are some of the thoughts and sentiments coming out of this. Please follow them on various social media platforms and news outlets. At this point, some of the videos were shortened to make this video a little bit shorter. As you have seen, there is a lot to talk about. Drama galore. There is a big cleanup happening in South Africa. As you know, when you are expecting to host people, expecting visitors, you put your best foot forward. And that is exactly what the government is trying to do in the main cities. City of Johannesburg, even Tshwane is getting a touch here and there. We are seeing some bits in Durban as well. However, the citizens are then questioning why couldn't they do this all along. Operation Tudula has been pointing out how lawlessness has been allowed to continue, and hence putting pressure on infrastructure. The streets and the bylaws are being applied, and we have seen that a lot of foreign nationals are pushing back, calling this some sort of abuse, whereas in their own countries, in Zimbabwe, you are not allowed to sell on certain areas in their city, hence it looks that clean. Now guys, there is also a brewing issue of a protest that is being planned against the G20 to bring some issues to the attention of the government, and one of those is about the rand fixing. There are allegations that the rand should actually be at 7 rand to the dollar, and at this moment it has been allowed to be overvalued. The clever blacks are up. Other people are also planning to protest, just because of how big the G20 is. Is South Africa ready for this? But the good thing is that we actually got service delivery as a country. There are so many issues on the table as we draw closer to the G20 taking place in November. That is when all these other nations that are part of the G20 will be coming for the summit. We know that the USA has said they are not sending their president, but they will be sending a representative. Well, at this point, because of all the drama they have been causing around the world, them not coming is actually not a bad thing. People can then discuss how the world can move on without the United States of America, and at the moment people are just marveling at how clean the city looks and organized. Will they be able to keep this up after the G20? What is stopping them from making the city look this good? Let me know what your sentiments are down below. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video.